Hi everyone, I'm Pocketful of Posies, and welcome back to my channel. It's Christmas time, and I wanted to have a go at making some more Christmas-themed doll customs. I made this little gingerbread-themed family last year when I took a break from making videos, and now I wanted to do an actual video to make up for it. I got these little Christmas-themed quilt quarters last year that go together, and I wanted to do something with them this year. I thought the scale of the pattern might be a little bit too big for the normal 1/6 scale dolls, but it would look great on a larger scale one. For this custom, I'm going to use some Disney Animator dolls, the actual 16-inch ones at that. These dolls are so cute, and I happen to find a few of these when I go thrift shopping, so I thought it would be a good experiment to see how to customize these ones. So if you haven't noticed, the ones I find at thrift stores tend to be a bit dirty and stained, and I need to clean them up a bit before I do anything else. The first thing I do is to wash them with soap and a magic eraser to get some of the easy stains off. There are some more stubborn stains too, but I'm worried it would take too much time to clean them all completely, and I'm not intending to sell these anyway, so I'm hoping that the clothing can help cover most of these flaws. I think if I were to do more with the intent of selling, I'd need to be willing to experiment more or see what a potential client would say. Next, I remove the hair as close to the scalp as I can before I try to take the head off. I also learned that I'm able to take some of the more stubborn stains off with acetone. I'm still wondering about the body, but I'm a bit too nervous to try on those since I'm so used to them staining the plastic on the bodies of other dolls. After all of that, I use hot water to loosen the head so I can take it off. On these dolls, there's a small peg that gets caught in the head hole, but they can be removed quite easily. Once I get the peg out, all I have to do to fix it is to warm up the neck of the body to allow it back in. I hurry and scrape the remaining hair pegs out while it's still warm. These heads can harden again really quickly, so I do still need to reheat the head every now and again. Some can also be pulled out with a pair of tweezers. Now that the hair is all out, I'm going to do a big experiment and see if I can reroute these heads. They are rather big and hard, so it might be a little bit difficult, but I just want to see for myself in the name of science. I repaint the scalp with a color that will be close to the one I want to reroute with. It took me about 2 layers before I was satisfied. It was here where I realized that I probably should remove the original face before I start with the reroute to make the cleaning a bit easier. On these dolls, I noticed there was a lot of corners and stuff that made it difficult to get into and make the surface as clean as possible. For the reroute, this is a nylon hair from the doll planet called Asuna. It's a really nice color and I got a super large pack of it, so I figured this was a good one to reroute a large head like this with. Now, given how hard the head is, when I do reroutes on heads like this, I tend to use a push pin to open up the holes to make it easier to put the hair in without breaking the tool. It was a bit painful on my fingers, but it did help and it didn't break the needle I was using, so it is effective. 1 week and some sore fingers later, the reroute is done and I pour a huge amount of glue into the head. So that week-long reroute made me realize that doing it again might take too long, so I switched out the second doll for this little Kristoff. I just need to heat up the head again so I can put it back on the body, and then I can start on the face-up. Despite all the cleaning I did afterwards, there's still some staining I can't get rid of, so I'm hoping the face-up can help cover them. These face-ups are a bit awkward since this is my first time repainting large Animator dolls, and I eventually realized how out of my element I am here. I was studying some existing Animator repaint videos to try and get an idea of what to do. I was going to color in the sclera with a white watercolor pencil, but I got paranoid about my pencil getting a bit too short. Eventually, I decided to do them with acrylic paint to save some lead. It took me a few watered down layers so I could try to make it look a bit more professional. The more layers I did for the eyes, the more apparent it became that putting watercolor pencils over acrylic paints was making it look a bit too pencil-y and not as vibrant as I wanted. After some time thinking it over, I decided it would be best to do the rest of the eyes in acrylic paints, which is something I haven't done in a long time and not on a scale this big. On the other hand, it did end up being a neat experience to remember a whole bunch of painting skills I learned a long time ago. Around the end of the painting, I wanted to use some Pearl X powders on the eyes to give them a bit of a sparkle and then add some whites. The last thing I did was to add freckles. After all the experimenting on the first doll, I had a bit more of an idea of what I wanted to do with the boy. I knew I would want to use acrylics on the eyes again to keep it in continuity with the girl. It also occurred to me that I can still use the pencils to give me an outline for the irises when I paint them. The rest of it is done in the same manner as the first one. After the face-ups are done, the girl gets a bit of restyling to fix the hair. So remember the fabric quarters from the beginning of the video? Now it's time to use those to make some clothes. The girl's dress was from a pattern I made disassembling a bell dress. Unfortunately, I can't film myself using a sewing machine in a presentable way, so I tried to show the steps I took to assembling the dress together. I ended up adding a gold-colored ribbon to give a bit more detail to the dress. I have an Alice doll on me, so I'm taking the tights and shoes from her to finish the outfit. I also found these two ponytails at Claire's that I'm using to add a final touch. I want to make the boy some overalls to go with the girl's dress, so I started with drafting a shirt pattern. I also sewed the ribbon to the legs of the overalls to keep a theme going with the outfits. Since most of the big Animator dolls I have are second-hand, most of them don't come with footwear, so I have to make some with a basic slipper-type pattern for dolls of this scale. I sew some interfacing onto the main pattern and sew the ends together to fit them around the feet. After that, I cut bits of the shoes to glue them onto the paper I have under the feet. The last thing I do is use craft foam for the soles, and that completes these little Christmas twins. This project was a big challenge for me, both in doing a face-up on a larger scale and attempting more acrylic-based face-ups. It was a nice experiment, and I'm hoping to do a bit more in the future. It seems like this Christmas is going to be a bit lonelier with everything that's been going on this year, but I hope that everyone can find some way to keep the spirit of Christmas alive and try to make the best of these trying times. All I can really do is hope for the best next year, and that we can have a proper Christmas then. Anyway, I hope you all stay safe and happy this season, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Bye!